Welcome into another bonus question here on Hockey Inside Out. This week's question, the power play. Do the Montreal Canadiens need a new power play coach? Now, looking at the numbers right now, gentlemen, so far in the power play as a whole, 14 goals, 27 assists. Suzuki has 8 points in the power play. Caulfield, 4 goals, 2 assists. And Kirby Dach, 1 goal, 7 assists. Jack Todd, what is the plan of succession for the Habs on the power play if they need to go a different route?
I think fire the coach might be the only plan that's going to work there. I'm not referring to St. Louis. It's a mystery to me. You look at everything else that's happening with this team. Why is the power play so bloody bad when they're great in overtime? They're pretty good 5-on-5. The penalty kill works, and I'm not sure. This might be a figment of my imagination, but I've seen 2 or 3 instances behind the bench when there looks to be some serious tension between Burrows and his fellow coaches. I could be, especially Lutovsky, and I get the feeling that, Rick would know better than I do. Obviously, you have moments during a game you're going to disagree. Just reading the body language and things, it looked to me like it was a little bit more than just your routine in-game disagreement. It's not happening, and I think they have to rethink this from the ground up next season. Not now. This isn't the time, but they have to take a completely different approach because this will kill you. They've really got to fix this, and being the worst team in the league on the power play is just not going to cut it if you really want to contend in 2-3 seasons down the line. More than any other aspect of the organization, the power play has to be fixed.
I think it's important for people to understand that it's Alex Burrows. It looks like his sole responsibility is the power play. That's not the case. Martin St. Louis, from my experience, is very much involved in what goes on and what the final say is. They make decisions as a group what they think would be the best 5-man unit to put out there. Obviously, it's not working. It's too predictable as a first power play unit. Everybody in the league knows what's going on. There's no threat from up top, and yet they continue to, turn the same players over and over, trying to do the same thing. So you got to try something else first. You got to, Gooley. There's just 2 guys back there. Jack was got 5 goals, I guess. Good shot. He's a little bit of threat. Gooley's got the smarts and the ability to pass and shoot and make things happen. You've got to try something with your combinations to see if you can't trigger a little bit of success and a little bit of uncertainty for the penalty killers, because I know as an ex-penalty killers coach, when you do the pre-games and you basically run the same things over and over, you get into a situation where you just know what's going to happen. It's just like an automatic, and it just, it stymies the team, and it's happening with the Canadiens. So change it up, change your personnel, try and bring in a new ingredient to make something else different happen that's not predictable. And I used to hate the guys that used to shoot the puck, just get the puck from the blue line and get the puck through to the net, and then you'd have to do battle with 2 guys, whether it's Neely or whatever, to try and get to the rebound. And it, as simple as it might seem, it was a threat and it was difficult to stop. But they have to try something before they, consider maybe, it's the coach's fault. Well, the personnel has to take some of the blame and try to do something to make the situation better by changing up the people.
Yeah, I think it might be a difficult conversation because you get the feeling that Marty St. Louis is a very, very confident guy in everything that he does, but we may have to come to the point where the organization tells him that he's not very good at running a power play, because back when John Tortorella was coaching the Columbus Blue Jackets, they brought on Marty St. Louis as a consultant for the power play because it was so bad. And for the last 3 years that John Tortorella was coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, their power play was at 15.4%, 15.4%, and 16.4%. It was the worst in the league over that stretch. The Canadiens are the worst in the league right now. And as much as everyone's focused on, a threat from the top, and I know Rick brings up a good point, just getting pucks through and trying to battle for them, that style of power play just is no longer really effective in the NHL. The big main difference that I see between the Canadiens and successful power plays right now is lack of movement. Suzuki is really the only guy that moves around on the power play. He goes out of the zone and trying to get lost, and then tries to do his strafe down the right side there to snipe on goaltenders. And it works sometimes, and sometimes it's a little bit too predictable. Caulfield kind of just goes up and down searching for shots, which is about what you want him to do, but everybody else needs to be less static, moving around, changing things up, forcing teams to cover them differently, right? Because right now, a passive box will pretty much just shut down the Canadiens' power play. And that can't work in today's NHL. You need to be able to have guys in maybe 3 dynamic positions that they can go to, where you can find different shots, different passes, open up lanes through the middle. And the Canadiens just aren't accomplishing that through the movement of their skates. And whether that's from the players themselves or the coaching staff, it needs to change. And it's not a high priority because they're still in a rebuilding mode. But we've seen over and over again the team playing a good game, and then you get a power play, and it saps all the energy out of the building, and things just go wrong, right? And when you're getting into a competitive mode, having a bad power play is just such a killer. Just getting to average is good enough to be a competitive team if you're a good even strength team. But if you're one of the worst teams in the league on the power play and you just can't get it going, it kills momentum so badly, especially because teams know they can cheat against you, right? There has to be some level of fear that if you take a penalty against a team that you're going to give up a goal. And there is no fear right now against the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah,
Alex Burrows, right? He's gotten the full attention for being the specialist, but was he fast-tracked into this position far too early to be in this role as a specialist for the Montreal Canadiens?
I don't know his track record from previous years, other than he was given the opportunity probably to do that. It takes a lot of pride in trying to prepare the guys to be the best they can be. And one thing I learned, behind the bench is you can give them somewhat of a blueprint on what you'd like to see happening, then it's execution. And it's frustrating when you get into a situation like this where you're trying to give some direction on what you believe will give them an opportunity to score, and it's not executed properly. And you have to point the finger at some of the players for not making it happen. But I know Andrew, he touched on the importance of more movement. No question about that. More movement is needed. More shots are needed from different situations to become a threat. And believe me, they're doing a lot of study. They're doing a lot of examination. Okay, what can we try next? But you have to be careful not to throw all of the pressure on Alex Burrows, because when it's that bad, there's a number of voices come into play. But obviously they need improvement, and they're working to try and get that thing straightened out.
Well, we'll find out for the Montreal Canadiens what they'll do in the power play. Maybe it's Yoel Armia as being the solution for their woes on the power play. Who knows? We'll find out. But that'll do it for this bonus episode here of Hockey Inside Out. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube page for Hockey Inside Out. Sign up to the newsletter on MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And also for full episodes and bonus content, head on by Hockey Inside Out and submit your questions and comments. We look forward to conversing about that for a future episode in 2023. And that'll do it for us for this year. We'll be back on Jan 12th with fresh content and new storylines to look forward to for the new year and beyond. On behalf of Jack, Rick, and Andrew, wish you happy holidays and a great new year. We'll see you in 2023. Bye for now.